Hey, peace, family. Thank you so much for tuning in to the program. I'm so excited tonight. I have on Chief Foday Ajamu Mansaray. And
Yes, sir.
he, okay, go ahead and say it, bro, because you always correct me on
No, I was just saying, yes, sir. That's me. That's me, brother. Foday
it.
Ajamu
Okay,
Mansaray.
wonderful, wonderful. We got our brother Chief in the building. We just going to get into it, family. I don't believe in, delaying any of the time, because I know my time is valuable. Our time is valuable. We know yours is too. So, as you know, for those of you who tune in, and if you don't know, now you get ready to know, we are a culturally based program here. EY Paleo Movement, we focus on Sankofa. We focus on renewing our minds in the African centered way. Okay, we're unapologetically about being our indigenous selves here. Okay, we're not asking for permission. Okay, we're going to take back our minds. All right, and we're going to reconnect with who and what we are. And so this platform focuses on that. What I like to do is expose you to the various cultures from the motherland, so we can have a better understanding of ourselves. We have a lot of misrepresentation. Okay, and our brother, he was born on a continent called America. Okay, and our brother now has repatriated back to the motherland. He himself, as well, has a powerful testimony. Chief and I, we talked on numerous occasions. He helped my wife and I get our names. Our brother's legitimate. Everything he told me he was going to do, he did it. That's the reason why he's on this platform today, because he's definitely a man of his word, as well as his wife, as well as all the other brothers and sisters that he worked with over there that work so diligently with reconnecting us to the motherland, specifically our Mende people, but of course also others. He doesn't hold the information back. He definitely gives us the information. So, Chief, how you doing on this evening?
Man, I'm doing good, brother. Man, thank you very much for the introduction, man. I appreciate you for having me on the platform, man.
And you
And you're
know it,
right.
man.
Yeah, man. It's really all about changing the mind state of the Africans into an African-centered worldview and value system, man. It really is about that. You was talking about earlier when me and you was talking. You was asking me like, what were some of the things that kind of led to me leaving America and coming over here. And it was a lot of steps, but it was the mental. It was the mental. I had to study. I had to go through um, reading. I had to, consider new ideals. I had to deal with the cognitive dissonance. I had to deal with the
Mm.
fact that I had been brainwashed, like the rest of our people, not only in America, but around the world, about what America is and about the predicament of my people there. So as I became more conscious of myself as a black man in America and elevated my understanding to a Pan African level, man, there was nothing that could keep me from the continent after that. For me personally, I can't say that for anybody else, but for me, it just lit a fire in me, bro. I was ready for it.
You got a very powerful story, man. Please tell us how you got to the point where you are today, Chief, because, as you and I had discussed, we have similar backgrounds. So please tell us about your journey and how you got to the point where you at in point B today. Tell us about point A.
All right. Well, point A. Point A. I am from Pennsylvania. I was born in the city of Chester, but I was raised in the city of York, Pennsylvania, which is in the south central parts near Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the state capital. So I'm a PA brother from the East Coast. But I grew up in a family that had migrated from South Carolina in 1972, whereas I was born in 1979. So my whole household, my whole family unit was at that time born and raised in the South, and everything that I first encountered growing up was Southern, even though I was raised in Pennsylvania. Um, my family never disconnected from the South. Every summer, as much as possible, my mother was getting all her kids up into one vehicle. We was on I-95 to Orangeburg, South Carolina, just to go
Mm.
visit family, go see aunties and uncles, and sometimes a funeral or sometimes just a holiday. But the point is that my family migrated to the north, but I grew up born up there, but still connected to my roots in the South. So I grew up knowing that I was a Geechee, didn't really understand what it mean at first, but I knew that it was connected to the way that my mother, my uncles, my aunties would be talking to each other certain times. I knew it was related to, the foods that we was eating. I knew it had some relationship to um, who my family was, so to speak, my heritage. And I think that played a big part in who I was as a child. Now, my mother was a minister. My mother was an ordained minister. Um, she was from Orangeburg originally, but when she went to Pennsylvania, she actually seeded a church. Um, while she was pregnant with me, she preached from the pulpit of her own church, as she would always say. But unfortunately, at first I had a very great childhood, but the devastation of the crack cocaine came and hit my community, it hit my family, and it also, tied my mother up for about a decade. Snatched her off the pulpit, burnt her Bible, and that was replaced by drugs and alcohol for about 10 years. My mother was going through some things. Um, and at that time, I was probably from the year about 8 years old to about 18 years old. So during that period of my life, there was no supervision. There was no dominant male figure in the house. I kind of ran around doing what I want, like you see a lot of knuckleheads do now today, and of course, every generation, without guidance. So, I got into little juvenile problems, things like that growing up. And eventually, I had got in trouble one time. I was 19. Got in trouble. My mother came to me. She was like, "Boy, you need to do something with your life." And by this time, she had already redeemed herself. My mother was off of drugs, off of alcohol. She had become a community volunteer. She was helping other people get off of drugs, opened her house up to help people, was doing aggressive street ministry, and just, redeeming herself from her own backsliding. And in that process, I had the opportunity to witness my mother go through that. And of course, I wanted to do it too because I felt like in the process of her addiction and me growing up, my hands had got dirty too, and I wanted to get clean. So she was like, "Listen, there's a community organization. You can go there and volunteer. They give you a stipend. You can stay out of trouble." So she had already did it. It was an organization in York, Pennsylvania called South George Street Community Partnership. And the staff had been trained by AmeriCorps, and it was their job to train local volunteer organizers so that we would be implementing on behalf of the organization. We did things like community cleanups. We would paint over walls where gang graffiti was at. We would clean areas that was on the way to that kids had to walk on the way to school. Things like that. We would voluntarily assess what's needed in the community and then use the resources that was available at the organization to go out in the community and just try to make a change. And they would give us a little stipend. We didn't have to worry about working and then volunteering. It was enough for that. And then they offered us some educational benefits and things like that if we would finish the whole program. Well, for me, I did it for 6 months, opened my eyes up. I realized how much just caring a little bit and volunteering some time could actually change some things. And it became a passion of mine. Over the years, that passion of volunteering leads you into conflict with the way that things are because you cannot change a society or a condition that you do not understand and study very well. So just being actively involved, like at the urging of my mother and getting some training and some experience, led me into political education because now I had to understand the system that I was attempting to change, to transform. And through that, I got introduced to, more political history of the Black American experience. After that, I was able to broaden my horizon a little bit more and understand how the same struggle was happening in the Caribbeans and South America and Central America and Europe in Africa. And, you know, just from, I started with self and community and kind of grew out in my studies. And eventually I knew that it's one thing to have Pan-African ideals and agree, and then it's another thing to be actively involved. So I sought
Absolutely.
organizations to join. I joined the organization that was connected to people around the world, actually. And with my organizational skills that I already had and my political education, I was able to play a leadership role. So I served as the Northeast Agitprop Director. I was responsible for taking out political education to the communities from Toronto to Washington, D.C. And this is from 2006 to 2008, 2009. Every month we organize different political party schools. People can come and learn basic things about their rights, how they can, you know, approach certain concerns that they had. We would offer that. Sometimes we would protest, like we protested against the stop and frisk policy in New York as well as Philadelphia. And so I was activist. I got more actively involved because I had the political education to go along with the organizational training. And so it made me valuable to the organization. Ultimately, they had a strong connection with a Pan-African organization here in Sierra Leone. And I was serving as international outreach coordinator. So the people in the international world would have some connection to me because I was in a position to be an international coordinator for the general movement. So through that, I would get, you know, phone calls, have random conversations with the brothers and sisters here on the continent that was at the grassroots doing the work. It started giving me understanding of their daily struggles, and I started having ideas about what we could do together to make it better here. You understand? And how making it better here will actually make it better for us there. How we can do this in a holistic exchange kind of way in terms of the organizing. So I first met a brother from here. I won't say his name, but he's a very popular journalist from Sierra Leone. Um, and I met him in Philadelphia. He was actually on tour from the organization that I was a member of. And I met him. I remember the first time I met him, I said, "Man, you know, I'm a Gullah Geechee." And he was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I know. Y'all Sierra Leoneans, they teach about y'all at Foday College." And for those who don't know, Foday College is the first Western institution established in sub-Saharan Africa. It's the oldest in Freetown. So he actually attended that
Wow.
school, and in that school, he learned about the Gullah Geechee connection to Sierra Leone. And this was 2007, brother, summer, around this time. And I was blown away. I was like, wow. But more particularly, I was blown away by the fact that here is a brother my age who is a radical journalist in Sierra Leone, who had lived through the Civil War, who had been on the side of democracy and peace, and who was now seeking to organize masses of Pan-Africanists across Sierra Leone and West Africa into a movement that would be in solidarity with what we had going on in the diaspora. So I was just swept away that you know the movement had met that point. You know, there's a point where you're studying, but you're not actually involved. But when you get involved, you actually see how things really are, and it's not exactly the way you thought it was when you were studying. So when I got involved, man, you know, it just got more real to me. I remember the brothers would sometimes need resources. You know, sometimes they would be doing a program. They would need like a boat motor to help a fishing village, or maybe a radio transmitter to start a little community radio program, or maybe some health benefits. And this is the kind of organization that I was a part of as a member. But because that's the kind of things that the people here was doing, I was drawn very heavily to Sierra Leone as a Pan Africanist that realized that maybe not all, but some of us will have to go home and pave the way and lay it down and make sure that the relationships are being built for future generations because, you know, I've committed over 23 years of my life voluntarily to the cause that I believe um, is ours as a whole. Now,
Yes.
am I you know that's pretty much what it is. So in 2009, I resigned from the organization that I actually met the Sierra Leonean brothers and sisters through. But in 2010, they also resigned from that organization. So in 2011, the organization that I started in 2009, the Black Star Action Network International. Um, we formed an alliance with the organization here in Sierra Leone directly after we both resigned from the previous organization.
Hmm.
And in that relationship, um, it was political campaign season, and this organization here actually was running 12 people for the ballot. Two of them was running for parliament, including the brother that I had met in Philadelphia in 2007. So myself and the organizers of Basani, when I was still there in the United States back in 2011, 2012, we mobilized around material and political support for these brothers' campaign, these sisters' campaign. None of them won, but they was running on a Pan-African platform, and we supported them. And the support even went to a national tour where we brought the chairman of the organization over to America, toured them to DC, Philadelphia, Chicago, Oakland, San Francisco, Houston, Dallas, just to make sure that the African American community knew what was happening in Sierra Leone, that it was something Pan African going on, and that our attention was being called to it. So they failed, they lost the elections, but in 2013, soon after they lost the elections, I was invited here, and I had already knew these brothers for 6 years, sisters for 6 years, already had been doing the work, and I always tell people that I felt like as if, like if you're seeking to shoot something with a gun, but it's too far away, you're not going to squeeze the trigger because you're not sure of the shot. And my own ideal of organizing and what I thought could be a boost in the Pan Africanist movement today, um, it was similar. It was very, very similar to that. You know what I'm saying? Very, very similar to that, man. I just felt compelled, and I honored the invite. I came here in 2013, and I have been here since. So that's what led up to it. I have a history of political activism, community organizing at the national and international level before I ever left the United States of America. And in fact, it was the expansion of that political organizing, that Pan Africanism, that led me here to Sierra Leone. And I chose Sierra Leone for a number of reasons. One reason why I chose Sierra Leone, people would say is bad, is because Sierra Leone has the lowest life expectancy on Earth. You have 25 more years of life on average in the United States of America than our brothers and sisters in Sierra Leone because of conditions. And on top of that, Sierra Leone has the world's um, highest infant mortality rate and the world's highest maternal death rate, meaning that our pregnant women and our small babies are most vulnerable here than any other country in the world. And as a Gullah Geechee and a man who has discovered and known myself to be a Mandinka descendant, I now know that my family is related to other people in other countries and other groups from the Bamileke in Cameroon, the Mende here in Sierra Leone. Um, we are a Pan-African people truly, even genetically. And so, all of that going together, combined makes me who I am and ultimately led to me coming here. Now, since I've been here, there's been a lot of work, and we could talk about that as well. But that's pretty much a backup.
Yes,
That's
let's
who I am.
let's do that because I want the people to know the initiatives that you have started over there. Of course, I'm personally a part of it now. I'm happy to say part of helping individuals with their name changes.
Yeah, man.
You're actually helping people to repatriate. You're helping them to connect with the natives, and you're helping with the overall traditional protocol, and you're ensuring that we do it the right way. Talk to us about that. Talk to us about you know what you're doing and why is it so important that it's done the way that how, being that you're a native now over there, you're living over there. How long you been over there?
I've been here nine and a half years, brother.
Okay, wonderful. So yeah, let's talk about that, man. Let's give them the meat and potatoes right now, because you know you also was one that pioneered, kicked in some doors, as you would say, for our family to get citizenships instead of the Hollywood stars that's only getting it, man, or the famous people,
Yeah,
what have you, or the people in prestigious business. Talk to us about that, man. Let's give them
yeah,
that
man.
that meat and potatoes.
All right, no doubt, man. So, when I got here, of course, like I told you, man, I was on my Pan African movement stuff, man. I'm like, yo, I need to get home. I need to get with the people, see what I can do. Um, so when I got here, we went ahead and registered the Black Starship Network International here. We launched it in America actually, the year before, but we actually was able to register here in Africa, the Pan African organization. So we began to organize the first few programs we did that I can give you off the top of the head is we started a community gym for the youth. It's called the Hip Hop Powerhouse. Came out here and found out that the youth love hip hop culture. It became common ground, and we built on it. Um, that was one thing. From there, we created a group called Vocal Life Family that conducted regular outreach, spreading Pan Africanism through hip hop, bars, weightlifting, positive lifestyle, just vibing with the community at the grassroots level. Um, we did a water program in partnership with a brother. He actually started it, but we came in and helped him to improve it. It's called Water Not Life Aqua Base. And believe it or not, both of them programs, the Vocal Life Family and the Aqua Base program, they were able to serve communities throughout the Ebola epidemic, the Ebola outbreak in 2014 and 2015, which I was here for the whole thing. We campaigned, the Black Starship Network International campaign here to raise international awareness and raise support for the people. At that time, I had the opportunity to spend 6 months in Conakry, Guinea. So I got to move and meet other people and things like that. But we did those things. So from there, me being the Gullah Geechee and me being very proud of the fact, me being very conscious of myself as an African, um, and seeking to really represent that here. Not only just come here and kind of like melt into the melting pot, but to be here and represent my African diaspora national identity, who I am. I'm a Gullah Geechee. Um, and have that not be a problem for anybody. You know understand?
Yes,
So
sir.
I hooked up with some elders out there. Rest in peace to Baba Harold Hillary, um, Baba Ajamu, Ogun, what's his name? Ogunyele, sorry, McClennon, uh, another brother named Baba Darrow Orange from down St. Helena. So I got hooked up with some Gullah Geechee brothers and sisters during the period of Ebola outbreak because I was reaching out to the international world like, yo, where's the support? What's going on? This thing is real. It's not fake. People are dying. And it was like, you know, it was like speaking to nobody. But the elders from within the Gullah Geechee community that I was connected with was like, yo, man, we should be saying more. We should be doing more. We know this is our people. And, a movement was sparked. So basically, a group of Gullah Geechee people during the Ebola outbreak and right after the Charleston massacre that happened at Emmanuel AME, we began to have discussions about forming a community association that would be based on people who are verifiable Gullah Geechees, who can show you their genealogy, who can take you back to their family's graveyard. You know what I'm saying? Take you back to the church, take you down home. Not just someone claiming, but people who can be verified in more than one
Yeah.
way. And so we began to come together so that we can give voice to what we thought was being ignored. The fact that a lot of people have defined, or let me say, misdefined who we are. Right now, you have an effort by the federal government seeking to make Gullah Geechees basically into a group of people who only live within a particular territory, a particular landmass, and that's just not true. When you look at history, you realize that there were two great migrations of people from that southeast coastline to the west and then also to the north. And to the west, it was the internal slave trade, where the westward expansion was happening, and the Europeans was moving from the Carolinas and Georgia over into Mississippi and Alabama with the same Africans, breaking up families. And so you had an internal slave trade that was happening as well, that went from east to west in the South. And then from 1910 to about 1970, you had what they call the two great migrations. 6 million Africans leaving the South from all throughout the South for the cities of the North and the West, and making today's modern urban population. And so, understanding that history is very difficult to confine a bloodline to a corridor, to a coast, when you know that these people, these lineages, these households have been broken up and scattered for the last few hundred years throughout the United States of America. So it becomes a thing of genealogy, it becomes a thing of knowing your roots and being able to pinpoint where your ancestry comes from in the United States of America to determine if you're a Gullah Geechee. And what does that mean? So we seek to nationalize our ideal because ethnicity may be able to be restricted to a territory, but not a nationality. For instance, you took a African ancestry DNA test and discovered your ancestry to be of Mende. The Mende
That's
people here have recognized you, welcomed you home, bestowed you and your wife names in honor of that. And they've done it because there is a recognition that you are your bloodline. You inherit an identity, whether you claim it or not, and whether you know it or not. So even though you didn't know, you had the identity all your life, which is why we said we're not connecting you, we're reconnecting you. You were already connected, brother. And so, long story short, brother, from my time being here and my studies of the Gullah Geechee relationship with Sierra Leone, going back to the preliminary studies of Dr. Lorenzo Doe Turner, making the connections of the language back in the 1930s and 1940s, to the piggyback studies from many people, including even white historians like Opala, Joseph Opala, who've done a lot of work to expose the Bunce Island connection to the port of Charleston and Savannah, to show that there was a direct route from from Sierra Leone directly to South Carolina and to Georgia. These same places where we find these former rice cultivators from the what the Europeans called the Rice Coast. The Rice Coast spanning from Senegambia down to Liberia, Sierra Leone. And so when you understand the full text of the history, then you can understand how Gullah Geechee can exist within the African American modern population as a unique ethnic group that has our own language, have a unique history, and have unique lineages as well, and a special connection to Sierra Leone, Liberia, Senegambia, and all within that Rice Coast region. So I'm not surprised that so many African Americans are coming back to Sierra Leone through DNA testing. I'm not surprised just from my studies and just from living here and seeing our faces every day on the faces of everyday Sierra Leoneans. And so I
hmm
just,
Yeah, I
you
remember you
know,
said that your queen said that I look just like I was born over
typical,
there.
typical. Brother, listen, man, you have a typical Mende face, your features, your cheekbones, your slanted eyes, even Mendes, from my opinion, and I might be just biased or something like that, but they have very straight teeth, white teeth. Their teeth are always well. I think it's because they don't eat a lot of sugar, a lot of meat. They really eat a lot of green foods, leaf, rice. They grow their food.
Wow,
So their teeth are,
man,
are,
that's
are
me
very,
all day, man.
yes. So the teeth aren't. So the teeth aren't all banged up. The teeth aren't banged up. So yeah, you definitely look like a typical Mende brother to me and to my wife, and even to Posse say as well. He said, "Man, this brother look typical Mende." I said, "Yeah, yeah, man, it's deep." You know.
Wow.
So long story short, brother, we created this association so that we could establish an independent community of Gullah Geechees that's operating on a Pan-African worldview, operating on a Pan-African objective. That yes, we're Gullah Geechees, but we're not isolating ourselves. We're not an island of people. You understand? But at the same time, we know that we are Africans first, and we know that our struggle is part and parcel of the broader international African liberation struggle. We don't separate the two. Politically, ideologically, as a group of verifiable Gullah Geechees, we are different than other groups of verifiable Gullah Geechees. And that's where the difference lies, is our ideology. Secondly, our body of work. We chose to model our system of organizing off of the typical Sierra Leonean chieftaincy system, meaning that here in Sierra Leone, everybody belongs to a chiefdom. Everybody has a home village. Everybody has a lineage or a clan that they belong to. You understand? And so even when you come here, they say, what side you come out? In Creole, that means where do you come from? Who are you? And they want to know what's your name. They want to know what's your village. They want to know what's your chiefdom. Who's your paramount? You see? So they want to know these things. And the reason is because from your name, from your chiefdom, they can place you within the country. They know where you belong. And it's very, very important when you're here to understand that. So we model our organization off of that. And we took on the model of a paramount chief. We have a 7-member council of elders. We have an international ambassador responsible for representing the paramount chief and the elders internationally. And we have a nonprofit 501c3 organization with an executive board so that we're able to actually organize what it is that we're theorizing about legally and legitimately. So we do have a 501c3 tax exempt organization. Any donation given to us, you can get that joint exempt from the taxes. It's not even losing your money. You can claim it back next year. So we set that up to make it easier for people to engage us and be able to participate and contribute. So the first thing we did was we drafted a constitution. We ratified our constitution for our community order, for our own social ability to operate. And we elected a paramount chief, a head on the body. And it was a brother named Harold Hillary who served for the first 2 years. And unfortunately, he passed away. We wasn't expecting that, but he passed away. And, there was a temporary seat. And then after that, I was unanimously chosen by the body. I was chosen by the body to serve as the paramount chief. And for me, I didn't want to. I didn't want to because I was already here serving as the international ambassador. Through my work, I started the Gullah Redemption Mission in Sierra Leone. We began the work of receiving people home to Africa. We begin the work of social development here. We begin the work that we're going to talk more about.
Yes, let's do that. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so I sparked that as international ambassador of Ganona. So long story short, I was made the paramount chief in 2018. In 2019, I was officially coronated paramount chief of the Gullah Nation of North America, our community and our organization here by traditional authorities. So I'm saying all this because even myself, when I came here, there was nobody to help me understand how to properly get home. There was no one here to grab by my hand to say, no, don't let them name you like this. Yes. Don't go there. That's not your people. I didn't have any guide. And so me being here and choosing to stay here ultimately put me in the position to be able to assist others. And so that's where the Gullah Redemption Mission in Sierra Leone comes into play, and programs like the name change program that we're coming with now that you are the first beneficiary of. And we also have other programs that we do here in Sierra Leone. We do a tools and seeds program. We help farmers. It's called the Farmers Assistance Project. We work on a chiefdom to chiefdom model. We're working in 4 chiefdoms right now. And so we work with the paramount chiefs. We work with the traditional authorities and the stakeholders of the community directly. We're not working with anyone but them directly. They know us and we know them. and we do work. So, for instance, just today, we were able to um, get footage back from one of our villages that they have received a donation that came for education. And the people are so transparent with us, and we're so transparent with them because we work on the model of transparency over trust. We shouldn't have to trust each other. We shouldn't have to trust each other. Imposing trust means that you want me to believe you, and we should be beyond that. We should just be transparent and do things the right way. And so, because we come like that, that's how they receive it, and that's how they give it back to us. So we do the farmers assistance. We also do um, Be Clean campaign, whereas we clean communities here in Freetown and even around the world. The last Be Clean mobilization was 5 cities involved around the world. We had 4 cities in America cleaning with us here in Freetown and on the same day. So this is an international mission. It's not just a situation where you have one organization or just me, Chief Foday. I mean, you have dozens and dozens of people with their hands on this on both sides that understand that we are bridging the Atlantic. So we registered the Gullah Redemption Mission Sierra Leone here as a nonprofit company. That we're a nonprofit, just like a regular nonprofit in America. But we're organized as a company so that we're able to function um, nationally. The other option would be just a community-based organization, which the members have to be members of the community specifically. It's a local form. So we went ahead and made the national form so we can operate with many different local communities. Even right now, we're in the process of establishing the second community-based organization within the chiefdom. So that now we're making the chiefdoms our implementation partners and arming them with their own organization that will operate under the constitution and bylaws of the company. So we're even now, like my mother put me on to volunteerism, now we're spreading volunteerism down to the most remote, isolated villages that if they just change their attitude about their predicament and what they can do about it, then they could volunteer themselves out of their predicament. And so we're really, so we're really doing that now. To close it up in terms of the name, it is very important to make sure that when you come here, you are connected with real people. And when I say real people, of course, all people are real. But what I mean is that you want people who's real in the tradition, real on the ground, real among the nation. And the reason why I tell you is this. We are licensed tour operators in Sierra Leone. Just April, we just assisted two of our brothers get their citizenship here. And we've been doing it for years.
Awesome.
Yeah, we've been doing it for years. And in that process, there is a part of the tour where we take you down to the villages, where you meet the chiefs, where you meet the community, and the community embraces you. And they give you a name. They adopt you, they give you a name, and then you leave. And that right there might just be about 6, 7 hours total with your people out of all your life since your family was taken away. And then you leave, and you don't have a real direct connection to kind of stay involved with the people and the developments they got going on where you've been received at home, where you've been adopted. And so these are just coming from issues that I see through my eyes as who I am here, going through the process and leading people through the process. So with you, for instance, for some time now, people have been reaching out who are not African ancestry DNA testers like you are, but they have a Mende connection, or they have a Timini connection, or they have some kind of Sierra Leonean connection. And not everybody is seeking citizenship. Not everybody wants to do citizenship. But we do believe that we all have right to a legitimate name bestowed on us. And I remember my first name change in America. I was going through my own little developments. And I just looked into a name book. I said, I like this name. And I just said, I'm going to take this name. And I mean, we got right to do that. But when your intention is to connect with the traditional people on the ground, it's a lot different. It's a lot different.
I noticed that when you called me.
Yes. So just to sum it up, brother, it's like myself, Posse Say, who serves as the Secretary General of Gullah Redemption Mission Sierra Leone, Nathaniel Stevens, who's our National Director, my queen, my wife, Kenya Malinke Mansaray. We've all been having this discussion for some time about how we can best accommodate those out there who won't be coming home. How can they get legitimate names like we give these people when they come? How can we facilitate legitimate name changes when people get here, but we can't do it before they get here? And what kind of program can we create where people can not only get a name change, but that they can be part of the community that is issuing the names, and that the community is connected to the mission that we already have, where we're already serving communities. We already have a 3-point program: health, education, and food inside the village where we're already where you're going to be connected to. So it allows you not only to get a name from your people off rip, which is actually restoring your lineage, is recognizing your right to have a name. Mendes named Mendes. You understand? And so it's like
Absolutely.
having you have the opportunity for your people to give you a name that has meaning to them. It will connect you to a place. In this situation, Belebu, Tunkia Chiefdom, Kenema District, Eastern Sierra Leone, Gola Rainforest region. Belebu is literally within the Gola Rainforest. Literally, I was there in April, and it's 7 miles distance from the Liberia border. There's people there who live 100%
Wow.
according to traditional life, and
I'm glad you
so it's a
said the
very good
rainforest
situation.
too, because some people don't. Some people been told, and I've heard people say it, that there's no rainforest over there. Like there's no forest over there.
Well, all you have to do is just Google Gola rainforest, Gola, and in fact, Gola, the name Gola, is the name that inspired the name Gullah in America. See,
Mm.
Gola is a rainforest, so it means that it is a natural, um, it's a natural, what you say, feature.
Mm-hmm.
People live people live within it and all around it. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like it's a regional marker, the Gola Rainforest. So people, regardless of their ethnicity, identify with the Gola Rainforest as part of their roots. So people who will be taken away from here, especially from the South, most definitely will have some kind of knowledge or connection or feel some proximity to the Gola Rainforest.
Mm-hmm.
And so
What about the
it's
Geechee
all
part?
the same thing with the Geechee. If you go east of the Gola Rainforest, you meet a people called the Gizi. The Gizi is where Geechee come from.
Hmm.
So literally here, okay, look, here in Africa, you have the Gola Rainforest and the Gola people. And then to the east of them, you have the Gizi people or the Kissi people. And then in America, in South Carolina, you have the Gullah people on the Sea Islands. But in Georgia, you got the Geechee people. And what you'll find is that up to 25% of the Africans who were taken to the port of Charleston were taken directly from Sierra Leone. And so, when you look at the names and how people would probably kind of try to still talk and relate to themselves, this is what you will come up with. And so, again, that's why I said I'm not surprised that so many people are coming back to this country, specifically Mende. And what I'm finding is that a lot of the people who are taking African ancestry tests and find themselves to become Mende, if they know their family genealogy, they also find themselves to be Gullah Geechees.
That is powerful, man. We got our queens out there. Your queen getting it in too. And one statement she said you were young as well, but everyone agreed you were best fit. Man, that to me that's
Yeah,
powerful. That says a lot about you.
yeah, man. Yeah, I didn't want
My
it, man. I
queen,
was
she
like, yo,
said her grandmother nickname was Kissy. I think you said something
I,
about Kissy earlier.
yes, yes. Well, you got to remember, right? Remember Kizzy Kente? Kizzy Kente.
Oh.
Remember that name? Right? Remember that name from the Roots, from Roots. Kissy.
Okay, yeah. All right.
It's
Kizzy Kente.
similar. Kizzy, look, all right, let me give it to you like this. In Mandinka language, in Mandang language, the G and the K are interchangeable in words. So when you say gola, it can also be cola. Like when they say cola nuts, that's what the Gola Forest is known for. Cola nuts. It's the Cola region. So the Mandingos might say cola, but in the other language it would say gola. In the Gizzy language, they say gizzy. But in the Mandingo, they might say kizzy or kissy. And so it's the same word, just being pronounced differently in different cultures. And like I said, in the Mandang, the K can become a G, or the G can become a K. Now, when you hear cola, we're talking about the cola nut, which used to be currency. That came from here. It was first discovered by Europeans in the Gola forest here. So Gola and Kola are interchangeable within the Mandang language, and most people miss that and don't understand that, but it's related to Kola. Again, Kola was currency, so was salt, and that's what brought the Mandang people to the coast and to this region.
Man, that's absolutely wonderful, man. So, what is the protocol for those who want to join family? For those who would like to be a part, I provided the website there. Also, I put up my certificate earlier. You get a nice certificate like this, uh, created by Chief Queen. Okay, she puts in the work,
Yes, sir. Yes,
and this
sir. And
is a
it's official
certificate that
too.
you'll get, family, just like this right here. So, please, Chief, tell us what's the protocol.
All right. So the protocol is this. Right now, we're just launching the program, and we're launching the program in one location. Of course, our goal is to do it everywhere and for all ethnicities. But for now, because we're in the beginning stages of the program, we want to take our we want to focus on one location. So we're focusing on Belebu again, which is a location where we was able to connect you to. Um,
Yes,
Posse said,
many
Posse
things,
said
many
the son of the
things.
soil. Posse said was born there. Your surname, Jambor, is, as you know, is part of the title for the founder of Belebu. The full name was Jambor. Jambor means conqueror. It means Jambor means mix up. Boy means to eat. And you know, when you conquer, that's what you do. You gather them up, mix them all up, and you eat them. And so the name is derived from a great Mende conqueror. And the whole village is very familiar with the name because he is the founder of the village. And so what we came up
Mm,
with was the people want to give those who return a very special and unique name that will mean something not only to the village, but it will have a historical connection. Y'all will all share the connection to the village through the same name. And so John Boer was the name that was chosen for the Mende diaspora descendants that are coming back. And so,
mm.
of course, to Belebu in particular, maybe in another village it might be different, maybe in another chieftain might be different, but if you're going back to Belebu, John Boer. And it's good because we're going to be building extended family off of this. People who we might be total strangers with will come through the same channels and end up in the same family, in the same place. And so, first of all, anyone who's seeking to have a name change, they can go um, to our website, www.gullileone.org, and it's right here on the screen. So you can go there. There's a brief form. We ask for basic general information. Of course, you have to be able to validate that you are what you claim to be. Um, in accordance to our satisfaction. You won't just pull up like, yo, yeah, my great grandmama said I was a Mende. I want a name. No, we respect our people too much. You know, we respect
Our people
we
will do
respect our
it, boy.
people.
They will do it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You know, this ain't that. This ain't that. You know, it's a great honor for us to serve in this capacity. And the last thing we want to do is disrespect or violate tradition and have people here
Mm,
look at us like we're irresponsible about what we're doing. And
exactly.
so they've already blessed it. And of course, I know they don't want no imposters, you know. So we do have a basic question form, get some basic information from you. That information will also be going down to the village so they know who you are and things like that as well in the long term. Now, once you fill the form, you will be contacted. And you will be contacted by either myself, sometimes maybe my wife Kenya, or Brother Bakri. Brother Bakri has volunteered to be of service in this way to make sure that those at least coming from his channel, at least coming from African Ancestry's network that's coming through this brother, that wants to go through the same process that he and his wife is just going through, that he will be contacting you. You know, this brother is very detailed and decent. He wants to make sure that he sees you, looks you in your eye, and lets you know this thing is real, and then usher you
Oh
through the
yeah, no
process.
doubt.
So, we're, yes, man. So we're taking care in terms of security, as well as making sure that you get exactly what you want. So, in return for the name change, and not even in return, we are asking, as a nonprofit, as an organization that's facilitating this connection, that along with the request, you also make $100 donation, $100 or more donation to the work. Now, this money does not go to my pocket. This money does not go to Brother Bakri's pocket. We are not going to touch. This is not our money. This is your money. But your money will go towards the development of the Gullah Redemption Mission in this country so that we can continue to serve the diaspora and the home base at the same time. It will go into things like the Be Clean campaign. It will go into the establishment of the community-based organization in Belebu. It will go into our farming next year there. So just know that the donation is not necessarily a payment. We are not selling names. We are facilitating official, traditional name changes for you and making sure that when you get here, you're already known, you're already connected. So the $100 donations are tax deductible. Make sure that when you give them, you take note of that. We will also be issuing letters to those who, when they make the donation, so that you're able to use that on your on your tax forms later on. Again, we're a nonprofit, 501c3, so there's no issue with you being redeemed what you donate. So it's not a payment. It's actually a donation to the cause and appreciation for the people allowing you and welcoming you home. So I know how people think, bro. We see money and we think, oh man, what's this? What's that? Especially when it comes to Africa. But
Oh yeah, no
yeah, that's
doubt.
what it is.
No doubt.
And this is something I'm very passionate about, my brother, man. You said something earlier that I didn't really get to touch on, but um, yeah, myself, my wife, others, man. You know, there's times where I talk about me and my wife's role, but I don't talk about the roles of other people. And there really was other people who played vital roles in making sure that the citizenship was available, at least to African ancestry people. Um, there were people who came on their own trips, paid their own way here, and did their own advocacy and pushed their own way. But the reality is that after Isaiah Washington, the brother from Grey's Anatomy who got the first citizenship, he was given it by the president directly, and there was no process. If you ask him what was his process, I guarantee it's not the process that everyone's going through now. He had no
Hmm.
process. He was awarded it based on recognition, so that later on a process would come. And so, being here and being involved and welcoming people here already, um, brothers and sisters from the diaspora begin to come seeking their citizenship. And before that, me and my wife went to the Monuments and Relics Commission, which is the same entity that you have to go to right now to process your citizenship. Um, we went there. We had a conversation with the chairperson, with some of the interns on two different occasions. We actually introduced the first African ancestry DNA tester that came at least since Isaiah Washington, seeking answers as well. And we literally said, is this only for Hollywood or is this for all of us? Is this for all everyone who can meet the same requirements that he met? And they was like, well, there's no process. What we want y'all to do is to go get a petition. Go get petitions signed. And we went back and got our petitions. And through the years from 2016 up until 2019, there were continuous independent trips being made by African ancestry customers themselves, coming back, going to the villages themselves, getting their own naming ceremonies themselves. There was no licensed tour operators like there is now. And so through the years, there's been a more government involved in the process, and more prices involved, more cost involved than just, coming over and hooking up. But I think that it makes it safer for us coming, and it makes it safer for the people that we're coming to have more structure and have government more involved. So I'm very satisfied with the process as it is. I think that on the other hand, that this needs to be broadened beyond just African ancestry DNA testers. I really applaud African ancestry customers and the company for taking the initiative and pushing with full steam to secure an MOU partnership with the government and make sure that y'all get decent treatment coming home. So we're a part and parcel of that group of people who first went to have the conversations and have been accepting brothers and sisters home and guiding them to their homecomings and naming ceremonies, even before the government even recognized that they wanted to put a process in place. So we literally came here and made it happen. And I can't say nothing but that the government and certain key players within the Ministry of Culture and Tourism know that it was a long time coming and that many, many people put their hands there and put their words there to make it happen. But we definitely claim our own contribution. Gullah Geechee people, through the Gullah Nation of North America, represented by myself, my wife, and our brothers and sisters and family members abroad, we played a vital role in ensuring that people from African ancestry DNA testing had the platform, that they knew where to go, that they were able to achieve this citizenship. Now, I believe, again, it needs to be broadened. It needs to be broadened. There's other people. Right now, I have a blood relative, my elder cousin. He took a ancestry DNA test, which is not African ancestry, but it connects you with exact living relatives. And so what happened is that he got an exact living relative who happened to take the test when she moved to Washington, D.C. in 2015 from Sierra Leone. We discovered a cousin named Fatia Moijoy. She happens to also be native of Kinema. And according to her and her family tradition, because we've been able to link up with her and her mother, we know now that they actually were Mandinka people who migrated to Kinema and assimilated into the Mende ethnic group over time. And that is exactly what our family has always told us, that we were Mandinka by tradition, by word of mouth passed down. And this is an elder cousin, but he should be here soon. He just received his name. He received his name directly from the family that he blood connected with. Why? Because ancestry DNA allowed him to connect with a direct blood cousin in Sierra Leone who happened to be a Mende that connected him to a place, to a culture, and was able to bestow him a name. People coming back with African ancestry don't have that advantage. So we're trying to make sure that at least those coming back for citizenship get their names. Those not coming back for citizenship or have a pathway to acquire their names, and that we broaden this identity because at the end of the day, we are Africans. We, as the Gullah Nation of North America and the Gullah Leone Union, we recognize that it's going to take all of us, and that you know, we start in one place, but we end up where we want to be at the end of the day. And so, if I could say anything, that's what I could say, my brother. Everybody is welcome. just come. I would say just please come correct, because we are safeguarding. We are making sure that you meet the standards. Make sure that you know that you connect specifically to Mende people for now. For now. And we prefer that you do not, that when you come to Sierra Leone, if you plan to come to Sierra Leone to get your citizenship, that you choose Gullah Dugu. And you can go check out Gullah Dugu at www.gulladugu, that's GULLAHDUGU.com. Me and my wife run a consultancy company. We help with relocation. We help with investment management. We do project implementation. And I'll tell you, man, there's a wave of repatriation coming Sierra Leone's way. When I got here, I couldn't identify a single African American who had chose Sierra Leone to be their home. Over the years, I found that there were people who had come before me and was living here for some time and went back, but nobody had come to permanently stay. And so I found myself basically the only person out here at one point that I knew of. But now I can name families that's on their way by the end of this year that came through Gullah Dugu, that paid the consultancy, that did the visits, that we was able to secure for them employment here. We was able to secure for them their homes here, where they would live at, and connect them to the traditional society. So it's very, very important that you understand that we do a whole lot of things in one, but that we are Pan-Africanists, and we want to uphold the Pan-Africanist mandate, particularly as it goes to citizenship. So for now, this is where we are, but at the end, we want to see a Pan-Africanized version of citizenship happening, not only in Sierra Leone, but all across Africa as it relates to the African diaspora returning.
Wonderful, man. We thank you for coming on, man. Greatly appreciate it. Shout out to your queen, Malinke.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much for coming on, sis. We greatly appreciate all the information you're sharing. To my queen, thank you for coming on too. This is where you can follow our brother at. Okay, this is social media handles. Okay, you can follow him on Facebook, right there, YouTube, Gullah House Media. Okay, Instagram. There go the information right there as well. So you definitely want to follow, man. He definitely shares some very informative content, very educational. I'm not just saying it because he's sitting here in front of me. I mean, this is how him and I actually connected. This is how I found Chief, actually. I seen this video and it was so detailed, and I was I gotta connect with this brother, man. You know what I'm saying? I lined up, man, and I seen it and I reached out to him, and that's how him and I connected. I went to his Facebook page and connected with him from there, man. And like I said, he's kept his word since day one. He's been consistent. So I'm here to tell you, I know you don't know me, but for those who do know me, you know my character. You know that I don't co-sign on nobody. You know what I'm saying? Unless they're legitimate. And I'm telling you, this brother and his queen and the elder that he's working with, Manuel, Sese, all of them are legitimate. Okay? I promise you that. And they will come through for you. Everything is done professionally. Everything is laid out for you. Okay? They take out their time to explain things to you. Okay? So definitely check them out for their consultation.
Yes.
If you want to repatriate, okay, they even have that as well. If you want a consultation, it's a very small fee. It's not a whole lot of money. Okay, most of us will spend that on a meal, going out to dinner or to lunch. You know what I'm saying? So they have to be compensated for their time, family. You got to understand, this is a business. Okay, it's a business. There's a nonprofit side, you know what I'm saying, for business, but then there's a profit side. They gotta eat. They got bills and everything else too. So I'm just putting this out there because a lot of times our people get a lot of flack. Okay, but you got to understand, we have to charge. Nobody will stay in business if they never charge. Period. There has to be a fee to stay in business, to keep it running. Even with a nonprofit organization, okay, they still need resources to run. All right, so let's just keep that in mind, okay? And let's just be considerate of that. Remember, it's their time. It's all of their time, making the certificates, finding you a name, okay, processing your paperwork. All that takes time and work. So let's just be
Oh yeah.
courteous.
Oh
Okay,
yeah. Oh
let's not
yeah.
give them any pushback or give them any hell over something that we don't do to other people when it comes to doing business. Okay, let's not do that.
Mhm.
Let's be professional. Let's be loving. Let's be considerate, because they are taking out their time to help you to do what you need to do in order for you to have what you need. And this is going to pass down for generations. So the
Oh yeah.
fee that they charge, you can't, that's a small fee compared to everything that you receive from that. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's look out.
Yeah.
Let's be of some service. Let's share the word. Let me put the information back up there.
Yeah,
And
man,
my
for sure.
queen said, "Peace to you, queen." And let's
Peace to
get
you
that
and the king.
information back up. And we getting ready to close out. Any last words, Chief?
Yeah, I got some real quick last words. Just piggyback off what you were saying, brother. Don't be afraid of the cost. Literally, it cost us, to even make it possible for you. But at the same time, in terms of the citizenships and the conferment tours, check us out. The next citizenship conferment tour will be in November. If you go to our website, you'll be able to check it out. It's a $3,300 charge. Um, and most people, to be honest with you, and I'm not just hating or nothing like that on the competition, so to speak, but we do have the cheapest, the most affordable tour. And we also do have a legitimate grassroots connection as opposed to some people who are merely tourists themselves bringing people back and don't have a true, genuine connection with the people themselves. So I'll just put that out there, shameless promotion. But at the same time, I want people not to be worried about the cost for securing the name. It's very, very important that we're appreciative of what's being done for us. And also at the same time that we understand that right now, we ain't got it. Even over here, we ain't got it. The money ain't there. But talking to Brother Bakari earlier, we was able to come up with the agreement that we're going to make it to where you can pay in increments. And then when it adds up to $100 at your own time, we can push the process forward. But at least start by filling out your form so we can get you, listed. If you got the $100 right away, no problem. That's what's up. We can use it right away over here, man. It's rain season, and we got a lot of programs going on. But if not, we respect that too. Take your time. We're just here to service you. So thank you again, brother, for the platform, man. The time.
And you know it.
Um, yeah, man. Yeah, man. Keep inspiring the people, man. That's all we can do.
Yes, we'll do. We'll do, my brother. Definitely. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yes,
Yeah, man.
indeed. So, hey, family, again, thank you all for tuning in. For those who stuck out, the whole time with us, we greatly, greatly appreciate it. You can watch it in increments, you know what I'm saying? But we had to get this information out to you because we know that we definitely need to be educated and we need the information to make a sound decision. I wanted you to get to know Chief. I wanted you to get a feel of his spirit. Him and his wife have beautiful spirits, as well as our elder, Manuel Sese. I promise you, man, I've spoken with him on numerous occasions. He makes you feel like family. Chief make you feel like family. His queen make you feel like family. Because that's what we are. We are
Yeah.
fambo. Did I say it
Yeah,
right, bro?
man. Many roots, one fambo.
All right, man. That's what I'm talking about. So, hey, family, y'all have a blessed one. Stay tuned. Make sure you check us out, on YouTube. I had the information up. Come check us out. Come show some love. Peace, love, and power. Good night.
Peace, King.